Hoping that this doesn't cause a huge issue. Got a big camera here for myself. I'll make this smaller. Hello YouTube, my name's jamespfp. This is the Banjocast. The wee hours of the big morning. Morning that everyone counts their sleeps to. That's another way of looking at this. Everyone counts the number of sleeps. And I'm currently up and I see absolutely no sign of snow nor reindeer. However, don't take my observation as being absolute in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying anything about the likelihood one way or the other. Only and merely I haven't observed any such phenomena here where I'm currently located. Hey, I've got two things to do before I get back to working in Blender. First one is a direct consequence of participating earlier in a stream. I wasn't in the stream as a guest or anything, but I was in the chat of a stream, another person's stream. And as is it's a high likelihood at this time of year, sometimes the conversation turns to matters revolving around Star Wars. So I've got a link here. I should probably provide it. I'll copy it now. Taoism Explained. This is from the Tao Te Ching, chapter 57. There is a explanation provided below. I don't know if I'm going to bother with reading it or anything. But we'll just look at the beginning. 57. Use justice to rule a country. Use surprise to wage war. Use non-action to govern the world. How do I know it's so? As for the world, the more restrictions and prohibitions there are, the poorer the people will be. The more rules and prohibitions, the poorer the people will be. The more sharp weapons people have in a country, the bigger the disorder will be. The sharper the weapon, the bigger the disorder. The more clever and cunning people are, the stranger the events will be. The stranger meaning farther from normal. The more laws and commands there are, the more thieves and robbers there will be. Therefore the sage says, I do not act. I don't impose order. And people become reformed by themselves. I am at peace, and people become fair by themselves. I do not interfere, and people become rich by themselves. I have no desire to desire, and people become like the uncarved wood by themselves. People can govern themselves. Why do I mention this? Star Wars. The original Star Wars story is in this. Not A New Hope, not Episode 4. Where are the Jedi to be found in human history? Not in reality, but where is their seed? And what happened to the Jedi? The more sharp weapons people have in a country, the bigger the disorder will be. So big is the disorder, in fact, that one person ends up controlling everything. Use justice to rule a country. How did the Sith take control? Use surprise to wage war, always the unknown enemy and so forth. Non-action to govern the world. Therefore the sage says, you could think of this as Jedi as well. The Jedi sage says, I do not act, and people become reformed by themselves. Allow the Force to do whatever. I am at peace, and people become fair by themselves. So Obi-Wan, when he accepts his demise, still allows Luke to develop into whatever he's going to develop into. I do not interfere, and people become rich by themselves. I don't know if that's in there or not. It's an interesting thought which occurred to me after I watched The Force Awakens. It already dawned on my consciousness. I didn't really look at it again until then. So I'm not trying to say that the new movies are picking this up correctly, but this is the problem which Lucas introduced to them, and he probably explained to them this is what his intention had been. So they're trying to work with it, but they can't work with it terribly well because they're on the wrong side of the equation. They happen to be working for the wrong side of the force, so to speak. Here's the second thing.
My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. To support this YouTube channel, go to my Patreon link below in the description section. Subscribe to this channel. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers, so press subscribe right now. My books, Debunking the Trump-Russia Myth, Butthurt Top Secret Emails, Butthurt Deleted Emails, and the Alwan Brothers and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, they are below. Hundreds of 5-star reviews for them. You will love them if you want to gift them to anyone you like. On Amazon, all you need is someone's email address. You can gift a person any one of the 4 books. All you need is their email address. This is very interesting. Trump seizes on reports FBI's director plans to retire in early 2018. Andrew McCabe will no longer be at the FBI because he's retiring. And James Comey, Andrew McCabe, they're all very smart. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, they're all very, very, very smart. What they did was they knew that President Obama and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and the Democratic National Committee, the Democratic Party machine, controls the media, or at least has immense influence with CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, and subsidiaries like the Young Turks. They knew that they could go ahead and cover up the Clinton email investigation, which would have led to a Bernie Sanders presidency. So, on a side note...
He's leading into this very adeptly, but I ask that you would remember this point for later.
I always harp on this. If you're a progressive, or if you're a liberal, and you say, oh my God, Trump, he's doing this and that and this...
Not this point that he's into now, but the point he just made a minute ago. There was a huge problem that no media organization has broken yet. Everybody in the internet who's not part of the system, part of the establishment, has been talking about it for months, over a year, nonstop. And it's just starting to dawn on their horizons. They've got to talk about it.
And that you can...
They would rather talk about themselves in any situation, including the worst possible situations, than to admit they got scooped.
Until you can complain forever. He still won the presidency. He will win again in 2020 because Democrats don't stand for anything. That's another story. But the only way to defeat Trump is to first defeat the massive, massive corruption within the Democratic Party. It doesn't get into people's brains. They don't understand. There are people who think that Justice Democrats and the Young Turks can defeat Trump. No, they can't. No, they cannot. They can't even defeat... They won't be able to defeat Republicans or Trump because they don't stand for things like anti-war, ending perpetual counterinsurgency wars. You have to be the antithesis of Trump, and I've been saying that for a long time to defeat him. If you are not the antithesis, if you are just, President Obama won the Nobel Prize and he bombed more countries than even Bush, that's not going to work. That does not motivate people, and especially when you find out that the leader, the co-founder of the, Justice Democrats, why on earth would you need an organization to say, yes, you can win, progressive, but you can't win? Why would that organization need to exist? Bernie Sanders never had that. But anyway, when the co-founder gets kicked out, and then the other co-founder resigns, and the actual organization, Justice Democrats, does not talk about ending wars, that's a big problem. You're not going to win like that. So you can complain about Trump, but if you don't advocate breaking up too big to fail banks, you're going to lose again. Bernie Sanders wanted to change the system. You can disagree with Bernie, or whatever. Maybe not now he does, but before he went to change the system, break up banks. Who's talking about breaking up too big to fail banks? Certainly not Justice Democrats. Certainly not Cenk Uygur. Certainly not Hillary Clinton or the Democratic Party. Who's talking about bringing our soldiers home? So you can say what you like about me. If you're a progressive watching this channel, I'm no longer a progressive because obviously the movement doesn't care about ending American wars or breaking up too big to fail banks, so they don't lead us into another collapse. Anyway, what does that have to do with the FBI and Andrew McCabe? Because had McCabe done his job, which of course he couldn't because he received $700,000 from Clinton money man, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Had Andrew McCabe done his job, Clinton would have been indicted and Bernie Sanders would have won the presidency. Bernie 2016. I love my conservative subscribers. I love you. You know that. I'm talking about Bernie 2016.
I hadn't thought to go on Santa Watch tonight or put that in the stream title, Santa Watch. That probably would have been a really good idea, you know. I could still do that. Santa Watch. Oh, wow. And I could put it in as two terms too, Santa and watch. Oh, wow. And now what I do is I get my field glasses and I sit here. Just keep watching. It's like perfect time for Santa.
Bernie 2020, I have no idea. If he wins the Democratic primary, which they will never allow him to win. I had Jared Beck, amazing, love Jared Beck on my channel, DNC lawsuit attorney, a hero in all of this. I said, Jared, what are the chances they cheat Bernie again if he runs? He goes, 100%. They will never let him or Nina Turner or Tulsi Gabbard win the Democratic primary as long as they have a foothold, stranglehold on the power structure. So Bernie can run again. They're never going to allow him to win again, ever, 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 ever. But if he becomes Democratic nominee, then I'll vote for him in 2020. But they won't allow that. So, and they won't allow that. Again, this ties into...
The way that he accepts it is funny as heck to me. I find that it's... One of his words is obviously, another one is so. I once sat down and listened to a Hard Bastard stream event that had him being interviewed by Hard Bastard. And I did a little count as it was happening about the phrases that HA uses over and over again. His punctuations, personal punctuation list. It's funny to think of the things that he repeats so often.
Eventually I'm going to get to Andrew McCabe. He's leaving. Indictments will take place.
He's been waiting for this.
Soon after. Or after.
He would have voted for Trump once he heard, you'd be in prison.
Comey left. He is now lecturing and making a lot of money. A lot of money, honey. Comey's smart. These people are so smart.
Comey got the money, honey.
They know what they're doing. They're cold, they're cold, unfeeling,
lizard-like,
calculating. They know what they're doing. Andrew McCabe knows what he's doing. He's going to make a lot of money afterwards. Write a book, and all the Clinton loyalists will buy, and all the Young Turks loyalists will buy his book. They know what this. Peter Strzok knows what he's doing. They're cold, calculated, and they know exactly how to play the political system. They went to bat for Hillary. The media went to bat for them. Nobody's talking about how she transferred top secret intelligence from secure locations onto an unencrypted server.
Boom. What are they talking about?
Nobody talked about how obviously there was intent there.
What's TYT talking about?
Nobody's talking about why she's still going to get the indictments. And Obama used the Espionage Act against whistleblowers more than any other president. And
boom. And then at the end of his presidency, as if it was going to get him off the hook, he pardons Chelsea Manning, of all people, with Clinton having done what she'd done.
Let Clinton go. That alone is a reason never to vote for Democrats again. Ever. So when you hear about, the tax cuts, the environment, Trump, make sure Clinton receives the political or legal justice from the FBI. If you're too stupid to understand that, or not, you might be very intelligent, but if you don't understand where I'm coming from, you think, Clinton lost. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton control the Democratic Party to this day. What they say goes. The social justice warrior craziness that's now eating up the left is the hypocrisy built on lionizing Bill Clinton after he was accused of rape, and he has his own Wikipedia section on sexual assault
just on
allegations,
sexual assault.
misconduct. A value system runs, doesn't matter. So you are equally outraged.
You doubt the efficacy of Wikipedia when you know that Bill Clinton has his own section, not only for his person, but for his sexual assault history. Some people have filmographies, some people have discographies. Clinton?
If you stand on a pedestal and you say, evil conservatives, we're going to virtue signal, you are a white nationalist, white supremacist, racist, sexist, every other euphemism, you are deplorable, you will never be redeemed, you are evil, you were born evil, you have evil thoughts, and you are horrible. And I'm pure Kyle Kalinske and Cenk Uygur and David Pakman and Sam Cedar, and we love Bill Clinton, and we love the Democratic Party, and we love the next Democrat because tax cuts are bad, and they're horrible. Oh, but Cenk, it was a long time ago. Look at the good he's done.
I got to honestly say, of the things which has happened in the last decade, Trump announcing Jerusalem as the capital, I have to argue is 4D chess at its best. It really is. There are so many people thrown off their high horses when the media had to attack Trump by doing what it did. Funny. It's even funnier to see who's going to go crazy because they're going to say end of the world. Christianity isn't the only religion that believes in the end of the world.
See, Mother Teresa? Cenk Uygur has a brand that he makes money. It's a for-profit venture. And he has since engaged in sexist tweets and behavior. And I don't need to go into that. If you just watch the Young Turks or what he tweets out, you can see. If it's a conservative woman, they have no compassion for
the sky is falling,
and they will go after in a very sexist manner. But see, that's the same thing. Like, liberals have no value system. Even in the New York Times was at the top, this feminist writer was saying, yeah, it's okay. Even if it's a sexist, vote for him or her, or a sexist person, vote for him because it's okay to champion Bill Clinton because at least he's going up against Republicans. So it's a cult mentality. It's our team. It doesn't matter if our team wins or loses, it doesn't matter if our team upholds the value system as long as it goes against the enemy.
The ends justifies all means.
But see, that didn't work again.
That's the simple way of putting this in classical language. I'll make that bigger just so you can see
It's
it.
Trump, and it won't work against Trump in 2020. You're going to lose again. I've said this, and it's so easy to understand but difficult to comprehend for people. If you want to defeat Trump, you simply become the antithesis of him. And the antithesis is an anti-war stance, but also, you have to ensure the FBI is independent and does its job when you're in power. So when Obama was in power, Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton. Everybody knew what was going on. The difference is Democrats were proud of it. They're like, haha, no problem. We have the power, yay. The Republicans did the same thing. Didn't work out, though. Not everybody has that mentality. Andrew McCabe received $700,000.
Twice he's mentioned that.
From Terry McAuliffe. Clinton deserved the indictments, which she will eventually get. You're not fooling anyone. When you have the power, when President Obama when Democrats controlled the White House, they allowed, well, we know from Politico, the DOJ and Hezbollah drug trafficking, but we also know that they allowed the 20% sale of U.S. uranium capacity while there was an ongoing FBI criminal investigation of racketeering and bribery. The agencies under Obama were not independent. They were beholden to President Obama and Democrats. Now you have this Russian hacking nonsense, which never took place, and now you have the Democratic Party saying that Russia did it, and the FBI is not even certain. Nobody's certain. The NSA is only moderately confident because they're not certain, because they're lying. And I'm the bad guy for pointing this out. People say, oh, you just want to sow discord on the left. I don't care if you consider me left or independent.
I'm going to tell you something else, too. Oh, you just want to sow discord on the left. Unfortunately, no. Discord was sown decades ago. We're the anti-bureaucratic readjustment. Leading, yeah. We're the anti-bureaucratic readjustment agency leading to aftermath.
Of policies. But whatever. I don't care what you consider me. I am somebody who did everything possible in my way to explain to people since 2015 that Clinton would lose, that Bernie Sanders could win. And I received hit pieces, and I received backlash, and I received hate. It made me stronger, whatever, I don't care. Not that big of a deal. Not like I survived, some, crazy experience. But don't feel so bad for, Cenk Uygur or Sam Cedar or whatever when they get fired or whatever. They know what they're doing.
So awesome.
And they're not talking about Andrew McCabe receiving $700,000 from Terry McCullough for a reason. They're not going after Hillary Clinton for a reason, and it's not because she's not powerful. The Clintons could still control the Democratic Party. Notice how even Justice Democrats doesn't have an anti-war platform. Why is that? Why is it that they don't say we're going to bring home our soldiers? A very simple statement. Why is it that they don't say they want to ban fracking? Say what you want about fracking is a disgusting. I don't want to go into the whole.
I happen to share this belief.
A danger to the not just the environment. It's a danger to the country, for many reasons. One day I'll do a segment on fracking, whatever. The issue, it's not only about bold policies. Jill Stein wanted to ban fracking. So did Bernie.
In a way,
Jill Stein and Bernie want to bring home our soldiers.
HCA was always conservative, even if progressive. Being anti-fracking kind of shows it to be true. The same is true for Jill Stein. What was her party again? And Bernie,
for more. Jill Stein and Bernie want to break up too big to fail banks. They want to reinstate Glass-Steagall. This is not part of Justice Democrats. They picked Medicare for all and single payer because it's very palatable for everyone. And people can pay lip service to it. You think Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Tom Perez, excuse my language, give a fuck about the Justice Democrats platform? They're cool with it. They know that they can just go ahead and talk and be nice. Cool. But if it comes to breaking up too big to fail banks or bringing home our soldiers, they'll never do that. They would view Justice Democrats as a threat. That's why, Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kulinski, what they did was a power grab. It was just a failed power grab because there's no real progressive movement. It's a bunch of different factions that run on virtue signaling.
Oh, right. Green Party for Jill Stein. Green Party. But that is conservation. It's conservative in nature, but it's not conservative in economic.
And social justice warrior, internet.
Unless you consider, the land itself and whatever value that might have, even if it weren't measured in dollars.
Trolling and bullying. If a racist statement is made, it should be condemned, whether it's a liberal or conservative that makes the statement. Not, it was a long time ago, and Cenk Uygur stated that Native Americans were Redskins.
See, we're talking about Cenk here now instead of talking about this breaking news. And he's going to remember this himself.
Who only sued tobacco companies for money.
Because Cenk is talking about himself rather than talking about that news.
Or that women were genetically inferior because they don't have sex enough. It's like when you get the defend. There's one guy who did a video on me because I think the video title was like H.A. Goodman's happy that Justice Democrats is this. I'm not happy. I'm simply pointing out something that I was right about this also.
Sort of sounds like there's people outside the house carousing.
They don't
Oh shit! I'm on Santa Watch, man.
stand for anything transformative. They don't stand for anything that Bernie really stood for. Bernie was a threat, and they went after him. If you're not getting attacked by Ross Story or the Daily Beast like I was, I'm not comparing myself. I'm like a grain of sand to Bernie's Mount Everest. But like Bernie was, if you're not getting attacked by Joan Walsh or whatever, the Washington Post with Bernie and everybody else, even all the liberals attacked Bernie Sanders, and they never thought he could win. If you're not getting attacked, you're not a threat to them, so they'll never change. You're not going to work from within. So when Kyle went after W. Sigmund, he was wrong. He was wrong to do so. They'll never change. They'll never change from within. They'll change from an outside force on the left saying, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring home our soldiers from wars. Right fucking now. And yeah, conservatives, if you like that, hop on board. This crazy nonsense, you must disavow. I didn't see anyone disavowing the tweets from Cenk or the blog posts from Cenk. I saw people condoning it and defending it a long time ago, yet they don't read the whole blog posts for a reason. Because they can't defend calling Native Americans Redskins who only sue tobacco companies for money. They can't defend grabbing countless breasts while drunk. This is what Cenk Uygur wrote. And when they are judged by the same standards they judge others, they cower and they backtrack. And they say, well, it was a long time ago. He's done so much good. What good did he do? Usher in a Trump presidency by telling everyone to vote for Clinton, therefore reinforcing the DNC mindset. Well, you know what? We can cheat, and people will just vote anyway, our way. Because, look, you can have Trump. Oops, that didn't work out.
I know it. She knows it.
I can go on forever. And this is about Andrew McCabe, but at the same time, it's all about the same story. The FBI, had the FBI done its job,
Jesus.
you would have a Bernie Sanders presidency in my view.
There, sorry.
That being said, you can disagree with me, it's fine. Andrew McCabe is leaving. You have James Comey, you have Christopher Wray, you have a new regime. The ancien regime left. You have a new regime in the FBI. You have Trump wrestling control of the deep state, whatever you want to call it, intel community. It's not long before the media also is better to Trump or gives him more favorable coverage, if you can believe that. And that's eventually going to they won't be completely favorable with him, but what they'll do is there'll be less vitriol. And then liberals will say, oh my God, why? Because he's wrestling control of power. And the media always eventually will side with the most powerful political force because they have no value system. Just like the Young Turks don't really have a value system.
That's really enough of this. He's going to go into his regular shtick afterward, which he goes into the whole, what are your thoughts? Comment below. Which, I'm not complaining about. I like doing the same thing. I think there's a place for that. Pop out chatting. I don't know if I'll see anybody here tonight or not. Tonight, like I say, there is a pair of glasses close at hand. So I can keep a look out the window for you-know-who. In the meantime, I have a job in front of me. I took the time to swap over my microphone, as I did last night. You'll get to hear me recording my own voiceover for this video project. And I'll make this bigger for a temporary purpose. Show you what I use. Good time to do this. Filters, you can see here how I control my various video effects. If I put this down here, This is the scan lines. That's a recolor. That's probably enough. I did this one special. I can turn the scan lines on or off. This is the device I use for recording audio. Works as a USB microphone as well, and it allows me to plug in XLR microphone inputs here. So I got a couple mics that are used for that purpose. And that gives me up to 4 channels recording at once. Between the stereo mic at the stereo pair at the top and the stereo pair at the bottom. There's a mixer on board here too. I'm going to be recording just straight stereo, which is what I've been doing up to now. But yes, I must keep that other thing on. Reasons why. Doing a little more thinking too about the whole question of, well, what to think about Jesse Ventura. In the sense of, well, what is he really up to? Who's he really playing for? Is he telling the truth, or is Kyle telling the truth? And can we tell which of the two is telling the truth if one of them can't be questioned anymore? Just so happens the one who can't be questioned isn't Ventura, which is kind of weird, right? There would have been political reasons, though, for some people to be, for some people to perhaps not see eye to eye. I shouldn't say it that way. Bad choice of words. I've been criticizing such choices of words all day or all evening. Would other people around Kyle not agree with Kyle's way of thinking, or Kyle's certitude? Well, what I think is going to be what stands. If there's disagreement over that point, and I think there's plenty of reason to believe that there might have been, then which would include, if Kyle was a security risk long term, then he might be better not left in the record. Ventura's point earlier, there's 2 things that I thought about since having watched that clip more than once. And I don't mean that particular clip on the YouTube link I provided in the last stream. No. I mean, I saw the Joe Rogan show that he was interviewed on. Saw the whole thing. So it's the second time that I've looked at that particular piece of evidence. And I'm struck with 2 thoughts. One is that Ventura spends a lot of time, and so do Opie and Anthony, on talking about the punches and not talking about the defamation part. The defamation or libel, how did punches, how does the fact that Chris claims to have punched or assaulted someone else mean defamation or libel to Jesse Ventura? There's a funny question. Doesn't seem to be answered. It's taken as fact that punching is the issue. Opie and Anthony show, that's also mentioned. They directly ask it. They get him to say what they want him to say. He says it. But what he says in the book is, well, he doesn't use Ventura's name. He gives him a nickname. He gives Ventura a nickname. The nickname is Ratface, or something along those lines. I'm not agreeing with the nickname, by the way. I'm only saying what's in the book. And you have to take my word for it, I guess. Unless you want to read the book. You can find a copy of the book, I'm pretty sure. Here's where I am. I got to pick up recording from this point. I've got my machine ready to go. I think I got the vocal levels right. Tour number 2. Tour number 2. Tour number 2. Now Kyle is amazingly a chief, i.e., the highest rank he can be as an enlisted man. Oh, I gotta be careful with this one. Tour number 2. Tour number 2. This is gonna be tricky. Not fun. Tour number 2. Now Kyle is amazingly a chief, i.e. the highest rank he can be as an enlisted man. Not chronologically accurate. Huh. Did that work? Yes, it did. Okay. Okay. Little brother Kyle has lost his faith and... Oh, I didn't leave much of a pause after that cut. I.e. Iraq. This is in the book. Oh, ugh. I.e. Iraq. This is in the book, but it's Chris Kyle who says it, not his brother. Okay, I got that one. That was a rough patch of ice there. Woo-hoo. I gotta get my footing here. Doing voiceover here tonight. Recording a bit of voiceover for this video project that I'm working on in the background, and which I haven't picked up in the last couple of hours. But it's the right time of year, I think, to be sidetracked easily, since there's not a heck of a lot else to worry about for the next couple of days. We hope. New brass. Insurgency is now the issue. I'm kind of concerned I'm not catching my last impression. I might have to listen to myself, get back in it, and then resume for these few. So I'll stop here in a second and see what it sounds like. The bounty posters are the bounty posters. Oh, the bounty posters. The bounty posters. Der bounty posters. The bounty posters, according to the book, never identified Kyle except by his tattoo. The bounty posters, according to the book, never identified Kyle except by his tattoo. And the book notes that Kyle didn't get that tattoo until after tour number 2. And it also establishes that Kyle wanted to be in a crusade because he's a Christian. I guess that made him a bit of an extremist in his own way. Glorious, glorious understatement. Oh, I don't need that first part. I've got it separated into 2 roles. I can clearly see because time code refers to a specific point in time in the movie. This is a line from the script. DA squad to hunt down the butcher. Okay. The DA squad to hunt down the butcher is not in the book, and that's how to win hearts and minds in the audience. A soldier is like a child. He only says words like savage if and when he overhears an officer adult saying them. This case, of course, he's vindicated because he's already yelled that at his wife. This next one's pretty good too. Oh, I like taking smacks at certain companies when I can, I have to admit. Kyle knew PowerPoint, product placement, but the audience has no more idea of where the hell the people in this sequence actually are than the people in the audience. Oh, shit. Product placement, but the audience has no more idea of where the hell... Oh, shit. Product placement, but the audience has no more idea of where the hell the people in this sequence actually are than the people in the sequence do. According to the book, Kyle didn't train to be a sniper until tour number 1 ended and was deployed to Baghdad, Sadr City, and Fallujah during tour number 2. Sto. I might be able to salvage enough from that. Cut around the little areas toward the end there. That was real close. Close enough for my kind of government. Sorry. I get to laugh at my own jokes too. I record those to the stream and then the rest goes to the table, okay? Oh, this would be a funny time for anyone to join in the stream. If you're watching, if you happen to be watching, this is a voiceover being recorded. Just for shits and giggles. You get a lot of words out of this thing. You're looking for your own special little moment. This scene is not in the book. Excuse me. This scene is not in the book. This scene is not in the book and is trying to establish Lee's morale as already being lower than low. Sad European ending. Almost there. Almost there. Have we? Have we? Question like in response to a frame of film. Have we? Ah, that's better. Okay, let the sarcasm flow. Have we? I know the script is mighty bad, but calling it evil without burning it or refusing it seems melodramatic. Almost like Henry Kissinger, if you know what I mean? Almost like Kissinger. If you go a little more Kissinger, a little less Herzog. Okay. The DA operation, not in the book, at least not this circumstance, but is described as routine. Most of the scenes in this sequence are obvious trickery to get emotional reaction, like the same canned baby crying that we heard in the hospital, because all canned babies are equal. I had a joke I recorded the last time around. I might keep the joke and cut around that take that I just took with the joke. So there's two voices, two accents on the same similar voice. I could break back to that character long enough to get another number out, and then it'll work. I'm getting the idea. Series of shots with Kyle showing bared arms but no Crusader tattoo. A series of shots showing Series of shots with Kyle showing bared arms but no Crusader tattoo. The other soldiers have to let it slip that he's the legend. Doc dropping on purpose is bait for trolling. I wrote this in 2015. Wrote this a long time ago. That's how I look at it now. 24 months plus. Buddy, I've been sitting on this one. You can get angry if you're expecting more Charlottesville work in the near future. I'm not asking anybody for anything. I need better equipment to do more than I'm already doing, and for you to be able to see it. That's one thing. But I've got what I've got, and I'm happy to show you what I've got. What I got, you got too, as how I understand it. Biggles, Doc drops Kyle. Biggles, Doc drops Kyle, which is movie rationale for wounding Biggles later. Good pause there. I need to pause between these. So what I'm doing is started the track recording on my device here. I recorded the first take and then I hit the pause button, and then I get myself into the next line. Get myself ready to speak it. Hit record or hit pause once again. Machine starts recording again. Do the line, stop. So it's better to do it that way. Try to get a better sketch each time. Cut it up in the editing process. And if you don't actually see my lips moving, you don't see the different takes, sooner or later, they blend together, or you get the sense that there's more than one person talking. One way or the other. Soldiers at Chow. Soldiers at Chow. Wehrmacht at, no. Soldiers at Chow. Soldiers at Chow. Kyle spots the security hole, the host's elbow, not in the book. The disappointment. I need to have a break in between, so I have to pause through this phrase. Doesn't matter how long I make a pause, because I can cut it and split it. So, Kyle makes an excuse to excuse himself from a meal in progress. Kyle makes an excuse to excuse himself from a meal in progress. The secret of good comedy is not only timing, but also good personal hygiene. Missing the point entirely. If you don't get the point of the joke there, recognize good personal hygiene in this situation would have required he washed his hands before he started eating, regardless of what he thinks about Buddy's elbow. Anyway, I'm not saying that would have been right or wrong. It would have been correct in this situation, other than if they just disregarded that altogether, and not only featuring the fact that it's commonly done in Western civilization as well. I wonder where we learned it. The floor has a hidden compartment. The floor has a hidden compartment that the soldiers didn't find immediately upon invading the house, under mats and rugs, not in the book. Whew. Close up on Major League Arms Cache. I had a hard time spitting this out the first time. Close up on Major League Arms Cache, not in the book. The book does describe in detail every weapon that Kyle used in Iraq, as well as his brand name body armor and other assorted protective gear. Score 1 for doing it once anyway, and then doing it again. Score 1 for, Carnegie Hall. The book does use someone. We were talking about a certain movie in the last couple of days. Yeah, there's the joke at the end. Carnegie Hall. You ain't never heard Carnegie Hall before? Ooh, that must have blown a lot of old minds, and they're thinking, that joke goes back to around that time. That's Tarantino showing his age, man. Not the 70s. No. The book does use slang for interpreter. The book does use the slang. The book does use the slang for interpreter, but Kyle doesn't need a terp until tour 3 or 4. That's pretty good. I think that worked. Package is moving. And it won't be protected afterwards. If the package picks up a weapon, he's perfectly acceptable as a target. The ROEs say so. If I say the ROEs say so, I'm referring to what the book says, not what the movie says. The movie may confirm certain points of the ROEs, yes, but it's pretty limited in those points as well. That's my personal impression. I'm making it as short as possible by saying that, what I just recorded. Package picks up a gun. Package picks up a gun. Package picks up a gun and is shot. Pow! Room with a hanging body and assorted body parts. A room with a hanging body and assorted body parts is in the book, but not during tour number 2. This effectively means, of course, that I'm recording this event in time twice, once to the internet, once to my device, but I'm only recording these short sections that I'm highlighting in virtual space to that device. Weird, right? It's like having a, how do I describe it? There's a lensing. There's a certain amount of lensing, but it stops at this device. This catches whatever the end result of the lens is. Pretty cool, right? Ever used a magnifying glass? Yeah. Is in the book. Is in book. Ooh, I should say the. Is in the book. Is in the book where they are labeled rat tunnels. Rat is only marginally less offensive than savages. A little bit too much lip there, maybe. A little bit too much lip. See, there's a self-awareness involved with some kinds of lensing. You get to choose where to position it. I don't know. After a 90-second firefight. Ooh, this one gave me trouble the first time around as well. I remember it. After a 90-second firefight. After a 90-second firefight, Kyle runs down to the street where he gets the butcher. Not in the book. And neither was the butcher. Entirely invented for screen, so he has a cartoonish presentation. He is so 2D that he's even shot and colored, kind of like a Warner Brothers cartoon. I actually picked a pretty goddamn good shot for some of this. I will bear up my observation with a section of frame right there. Like a frame from Badass, true. Okay, Mustafa's cell phone. Mustafa's cell phone. Oh, Mustafa's cell phone. Mustafa. Watch out, Disney, watch out. Mustafa cell phone spotter network. Mustafa's cell phone spotter network. In the book, Kyle claims or admits that the insurgent cell phone network had been compromised by the electronic intelligence apparatus. So they weren't too worried about the fact that they knew that they were there. Seeing as, meta. Armed crowd and SEALs pulling out. Armed crowd and SEALs pulling out. The Punisher logo is prominently displayed on the Humvee's gun mount. Out of order, according to the book. Also, product placement, since Kyle reused the Punisher logo on his own merchandise. Granted, I'm sure that he was allowed to do so. There was probably a wonderful deal. There may even be some kind of deal which allows you to get brand sponsorship like that. I don't know. But that's a curious addition to his own business. He seems to have been able to access the particular logo drawn by a particular, it's a funny thing to have direct access to. No questions asked. Who else gets away with that one? I'm going to ask you. Homecoming number 2. Homecoming number 2. Kid number 1 is now 3 or 4 years old and only after one tour overseas, 250 days. Same kid uses 4-syllable words precociously. No joke. I already got that part recorded, so I only need to worry about this. The wounded vet guilt trips Kyle into visiting the vet hospital in San Diego, because it's not like Kyle should have had at least some counseling. There's the pause. I'm going to keep that one from the time before. I got a hard time understanding how to do the inflection. No. Yeah, that might work. No. Here we go. That ends there. I actually overplayed this guy's role. I intentionally overplayed this guy's role. He happens to be the person who's amputee. And that's not the reason why I picked him. It's the reason is because of, if you think of the anxiety that the person across from him must feel, and the lack of obvious respect which you'd think would be extended between members of the armed service once classified as vet. It's kind of weird. So is I don't want to say any more than that. Funny scene. Generic patronizing, generic patronizing, generic. How do I do that word? I got to think about generic in Herzog terms. What's generic look like there or sound like? Come on, Herzog, speak up. My inner Herzog must start channeling. Herner Herzog must be born. Come on, Herner. Get it back. Oh, my spirit is almost broken. I must find myself some generic medication. Generic patronizing rhetorical device is patronizing, and the next line of script is definitely not needed. That worked. Get back there. Boom. Get back there. Kyle refuses to salute. Kyle refuses to salute a vet, and it's a wonder another vet shot him, right? There you go. There you go. Haha. I already have a wah take. I'm going to leave the wah take that I did already. All right. The toy. Again, almost disappointed. Almost, but not quite. Pointing out the obvious, there's mental connections here which are funny, but who are they funny for? No, not only is the kid 2 to 4, I might as well do it this way. Right? Not only is the kid 2 to 4 times 2 old, but Kyle has now a new missed it. Not only is the kid 2 to 4. Not only is the kid 2 to 4 times 2 old, but Kyle now has a newborn daughter. Tricky. Tricky. Look at all those 2. You're gonna get stuttering if you get stuck up on that one. Dang, man. Wind changes direction, face gets stuck, boom, the whole shot. The only shots of actual newborns in the film. Heartwarming. The only shots of actual newborns in the film. In a hospital creche with 2 nurses and behind reinforced bulletproof glass, no less. Heartwarming. It shows that we. I just got a mental image really strongly, and it's Clint directing from behind the camera of Cooper doing his bit behind the reinforced glass of the crash where there's babies in behind in the crash, and he's walking in front of the glass. He's blocking most of the shot until you get the sense the camera gets out around him, right? But the glass I mean, is bulletproof. So if Clint was armed, never mind. Breastfeeding doll. Breastfeeding doll with fingers and arms that really move. Again, heartwarming. Very heartwarming feeling. Actually, there is a better shot to prove this point, but if you watch from this time code onward, you will definitely see what I mean. Also, I think some of these times are about a minute short of the point where they actually need to be, which is not a big deal. An easy fix to increase by 1. Anyway, I've found all the specific shots. You'll see where I mean. As long as you've seen the video here, you'll find them again. If the previous shot wasn't a doll, it definitely is now. Clickety click. I've done this so many times I really shouldn't have to do it again. Ooh, Control Z. See what happened there? I have never seen that occur before. Oh, wow. That's too awesome. Highlight the text, middle mouse click, and it will put it wherever you've got your... Look at that. Awesome. Sorry. Not in the book. That one came out easy. Done it a few hundred times now. Oh, and that's not quite a few hundred. It's only over 100 now. Yeah, this is 110. Woohoo! I'm well on the way. Tour number 3. Tour number 3, not geo-identified. Biggles and Lee are killed within 24 hours of one another. Book says it was in Ramadi, and indeed, that is where Job and Lee were wounded and killed. Clickety click. Mustafa has peepers. Maybe I should stay in character and read what the script says. Yes. That's what I think is the better move here. Mustafa has peepers because he's Kaiser fucking Soze, bro. Yet more reality being compared to much better, more popular movies. Just like the book, using movies to describe reality, I mean. And it is overdubbed. Again, the whole mirroring thing here. This is overdubbed, that's overdubbed. You can criticize me for doing so. You can see the difference between myself and the rest of this media, though. So thank you, and you're welcome. Knowing both sides of the transaction, I can get ahead of it, you know. Maybe there's only apparently 2 sides, and it might be more. Mustafa has a child. Mustafa has a child and a picture of his Olympic medal ceremony on the wall. Wanna bet Mustafa's child won't grow up as fast as Kyle's son did? Probably a fine dollar be made in that bet. Team gets ambushed prior to being ambushed because excitement. Again, Punisher logo on body armor, product placement. Reasons why you wouldn't necessarily be winning any Oscars, ladies and gentlemen. The win had already occurred. Look, the win had already occurred. Guess who gets to be exploited instead of somebody else? Because they couldn't get somebody else in the film too. They would rather have been able to control him entirely, but you know what they didn't want? They didn't want him talking freely. So, Biggles did get it by a ricochet off of his own gun. It's in the book. But Mustafa didn't fire the shot. Telling the truth. No need to actually overplay it. No need. Understatement, friends. Understatement. That's the understatement. I mean, Syria did not fire the shot. But they pinned it on Syria through Mustafa, this fictional fucking character. Biggles had the ring. Biggles had the ring. Sauron, you evil fucker. Not in the book. Making a story out of a ring. That's the tip of that iceberg. The metadata behind that particular iceberg. That's the tip. That's the best tip I could point to. Because it's convenient as fuck. I've got a decent take of this, but I'm gonna play with it. Not in the book, but at least he didn't say sand people, Imperial Stormtroopers, or Darth Vader. Previous take I did has got that. Oh, I got that already. Not worried about that. I.e., eye for an eye. Lee is the next to die, so let's have him say something Latin to make it poignant. Something Latin, something gained. Something blue, something old, I don't know. I'm going to stop when I get to 25. Then it's a good time to start cutting in again. So we don't have to be doing the rest of this the rest of the night. And this, I'm getting some good time here. I can see that I've been going for over an hour. No, 10 minutes. Oh, not exactly in the book. Not exactly in the book. Especially since he's not a chief at this point. Here we go. I messed this up the first time I tried reading it. The same thing happens twice in case you missed it when you went out for piss or something else. On the way to the ambush, they get ambushed. In case you are gone out for popcorn, i.e. crack, the first time. And the brain damage the audience receives may not be permanent. This one needs a Werner Herzog take. I might not use it. I've got options for this one. I could use other sources for this one. Boom, headshot. Actually, I can think of a guy I've heard on YouTube already that kind of sounds like a Werner Herzog, but he's not Werner. It's another person of European descent. He's currently living in Europe. I think he's German. Unless I miss my guess. Attention sequence. Attention sequence with a jump scare ending. There we go. Oh, two more. Mark Lee gets his, and this is pretty much in the book. In my opinion, if a studio puts an actual death sequence on film of an actual person who lived and died in this way, then they should also put an in memory of on the fucking film somewhere. Are Mark Lee's family getting royalties? Ask the insurance company. Am I right? Kyle did return to attend a double funeral, but the book relates that another SEAL had died before Biggles or Lee, and anyway, Biggles was still alive at that point. There you go. One more, sir. One more. Oh, Lee's mother. This is a good spot to stop. This puts me within good striking distance of the last recording push whenever I get to that, and this needs to be cut up and put in place. So yeah, it's like a big fish. This is the hook. This is the hook right in the end. This is in the lip, right? It's not in the lip. These calf swallowed it. Down past the goddamn gill. This fucking fish got teeth, man. Lee's mother reading a letter purportedly sent by Lee. Rather than actually read it through, she chokes up. Thanks, Clint. And now that's the last pause. I'm going to hit stop. It says fine. I say cool. I can now turn that off, allowing me to pop the old memory card out. This is so cool. I did not know that this would work. Highlight the text and then hover my mouse somewhere in the text, the document, and copy it right to where by hitting the middle mouse button. Not rolling it, but hitting the button. That's so awesome. Wow, look the fuck out. I'll stop at 25. So, how far up the chain is that going to get us? Yeah, a little farther than that. All the way to there. 27 and a half minutes. It's a total of 40. Oh, it's over 40. It's 45, so it'll be past halfway by then. Yeah. It's a pretty good cut there. All of that audio's been... So now I got to cut some of these up. Some of these are pretty long, too. And there's going to be such a difference in takes. Perhaps it won't matter so much. I never claimed to be an actor. I'm going to get to have the fun. And since I have the fun, perhaps you may also have some fun. Speaking of fun, before I sit down and start working, I'm going to turn this off. I recognize, you know, what I did was wear these when that wasn't actually plugged into the monitor or anything. I'm going to take a short break. Recorded on Paddy's Day this year. New banjo.
There's blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. There's blood in the streets, it's up to my knees. There's blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. and then she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. When she come down the street through the river of sadness, there's blood on the streets and it's up to my thighs. That whole river run right down length of the city. Young women cry while the rivers are weeping. She came to town and then she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. Indians gathered on Don's highway bleeding. Ghosts crowd that young child's fragile eggshell mind. Blood in the streets in the town of New Haven. Blood streamed the roots and the palm trees of Venice. Blood in my love in the terrible summer. Bloody red sun of fantastic LA. Blood screaming, Randy, chop off her fingers. This blood to be born in the birth of a nation. And blood is the rose of mysterious union. There's blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. There's blood in the streets, it's up to my knees. To Chicago, down to Chicago, yeah. There's blood on the rise, it's following me. Oh, thank you. Now for something a little different. So before you slip into unconsciousness, well, I'd like to have me another kiss. Another flashing chance at bliss. Another kiss. Yeah, another kiss. For the days are bright and filled with pain. Enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran, it was too insane. And we'll meet again. Yeah, yeah, we will meet again. So won't you tell me where your freedom lies? When the streets, they are fields and they never die. Deliver me from all them reasons why you'd rather fly. Or I cry, I'd rather fly. And the crystal ship, it is being filled with 1,000 girls and 1,000 thrills. to unconsciousness.
This one occurred to me once. I said, oh
I'd
yeah.
like to have me another kiss.
Celebration of the lizard, ladies and gentlemen.
Another flashing chance at bliss.
Oh, a chance at bliss.
Another kiss.
Oh.
Yeah. Another kiss.
Let's hear it for Cenk. Sorry.
The celebration of the lizard, ladies and gentlemen. The Crystal Ship Gospel Lounge Hour is sponsored in part by Molson, also by...
Yeah, it's what I gotta call it, the Crystal Ship Gospel Lounge Hour. I'm gonna tell you, that's a very useful twist. That's how, if you want to call me a lefty, that's how a lefty brain thinks about reusing a song to make a point. when they think that you can't touch that, oh, you can touch that all right. You can touch it and make it sound better if you know how to touch it right. If you know. Sure. Yeah, so I need to have the headphones on now. That's for sure. What I got here is the hard drive for the device I was using. I don't have like Herzog for a little while though. And it just popped it up right away. And I know where to get it. It's right here. It's a pretty big file though. Gotta copy it. And then down here, like, see by? Not in the stills, but here? Yeah, I put the other one there. I'll drop it there for now because I got space on that drive. Complete. Allows me to pop this back out. I don't need to keep it in the computer. Has no spin up and spin down. Doesn't need to be clogging up the old buses. I might want to be doing some recording again very soon, for all I know. But the last image that I loaded, or the last thing I loaded, was in this folder, so now I should find two of them. Indeed, that is true. And I know that I want the number and possibly what's spoken first now. Tour number 2, sorry, tour 2. So the audio is going to pick up practically right here. So that's beyond the point I'm thinking it should get to. Or it was up to about 27 minutes. It will be spaced out a bit too. This is going to be a lot. Oh yeah, it's a condensed version compared to what I originally started from. The only thing I'll be keeping is the numbers in the end. Just the numbers that I read out originally. I like the way I read the numbers. The numbers take a different character as they go on. Can you believe them? I don't know. Ways to make fun points by jamespfp. I turned the volume of this entire track up at the very beginning. Any alterations I make now to the rest of the track, if I cut it or move it one way or the other, that will maintain, that will stay true, that volume change. So I did it at the very beginning. I also have a choice here in Blender of, you can see, I'll put this over here so we at least have an image to look at. We also have a choice of moving this strip along the its particular track by hitting G key, and if I hit X, it'll make sure that if I move my mouse up and down, it won't skip tracks. But I know that this is more or less going to line up this way. I think I said that twice. Look, this beginning is going to have to be cut. That lines up much better. I can see how the two of them are the same from this distance. If I zoom in, I can see that I made a difference in my cadence of delivery here. But there's possibly a piece here at the beginning that needs to be removed. I would imagine this is a bomb take.
Tour number two.
Oh, tour number 2. So I'm wrong. It'll be a little bit faster. Or I could slow it down. This way. I'll position this to round about the same point. Shift S to snap it. Go to this point where the next take will begin. Shift K to hard cut it. Grab this and bring it back. Now this one gets a slightly different treatment. Just K. Grab and pull this one back to about here. And we'll listen.
Number 76. Tour number 2. Now Kyle is amazingly a chief, i.e. the highest rank he can be as an enlisted man. Not chronologically accurate. Number 77.
Right? How does this play against what I recorded before?
It does mention the existence of
Ooh, I'm much closer to the microphone the new time. Every time I change it, it's going to sound different. Every time I do a new take, unless I have everything exactly the same.
Number 74. Was that him that day? Attempting to establish what drove Kyle to go back for 3 more tours. Hey, they're fucking savages. That is in the book. Number 76.
Oh, I haven't got that turned up nearly as much as that other one. What happens if I turn this up?
That is in the book. Number 76. Tour number 2.
Big difference. So, I was holding the microphone that take, this previous take. I would imagine I'm going to have to manually change all of those to 1.5. There is ways for me to make a change across a strip like this. It's better in other Blender windows though. And considering there is a limited amount of them, I'll have to remember that change down the line because I don't want to get caught up in it too much right now, but I want to do 1 or 2 of them back here just to see.
At him that day? Not in the book. This is the film's way of attempting to establish what
Sounds pretty good.
Drove Kyle to go back for 3 more tours. Number 75. That is in the book. Number 76. Tour number 2. Now Kyle is amazingly a chief, i.e. the highest rank he can be as an enlisted man. Not chronologically accurate. Number 77. Little brother Kyle has...
Okay. I want this to 1.1. Yeah, this is a tricky one because there's a cut in between 2 pieces of dialogue. I have to hide one of the 2 of them.
Little brother Kyle has lost his faith and...
So there's the cut. I'm going to soft cut this one. That can stay where it is. So, now that's true. I'm going to hide both of those and unhide this one. Hiding with the H key and unhiding with Alt H. I'm going to listen to the original take.
Legend, huh? Little brother Kyle has no faith. And?
So that is that.
Just tired, man. Going home. Fuck this place.
So here's the other cut.
I.e. Iraq.
That's true. And I probably have a bump take in there, I think. Here's a problem. Getting this to fit in that gap. Can be done though. Gonna hide this one again. Grab, move that forward. I'm being carefully measurable. Get the whole clip, snap it in. That looks like it'll fit.
Little brother Kyle has lost his faith and...
Right? Let me see, I'll unhide this one again. I can soft cut at this point, move this back, and move this forward. So that was a K command.
Legend, huh? Little brother Kyle has lost his faith and...
Just tired, man. Going home. Fuck this place.
Next number is here. I can get rid of all of this. Let's hear what
i.e. Iraq. This is in the book.
Okay. Can go back right to there. Unhide that one.
i.e. Iraq. This is in the book. Oh, ugh.
There we go.
i.e. Iraq.
I did it over, so I may as well take the second take as anything. Shift S to snap it back.
i.e. Iraq. This is in the book, but it's Chris Kyle who says it, not his brother.
I actually got that out faster than I had before. I want this closer. Lines up better for this piece too. So this and that must be the same. This is going to be a fun cut there. Shift K the top one. G, and I'll bring it back that way. I'm going to G forward a little bit too. That one, just Shift K there. G, move it back. Might have to make a cut in between and tighten it up. Let's see.
8.
New brass.
Insurgency
Insurgency is now the issue.
Number 79.
That could go forward some, maybe. Lots of room for me to move it forward. That's a soft cut. Just a single K. Bring that back. Same thing on this side. Another soft cut. I'll bring this forward after making it smaller. So that gives me a little bit of room, wiggle room kind of up here.
Who says it, not his brother.
Number 78.
New
Sorry.
brass. Insurgency
Psha.
is now the issue.
Number 79.
The bounty posters,
Is that you?
according to the book,
Crusade
never
Cross. Yes, sir.
Bounty posters. There and there.
Is that you? Crusade Cross. Yes, sir. The bounty poster.
Hurrah. This is all one long take. I probably didn't get that out in one go. I gotta hide this one. Well, I don't actually. I'll hide this one to see how much.
According to the book, never identified Kyle except by his tattoo. And the book notes that Kyle didn't get that tattoo until after tour number 2. And it also establishes that Kyle wanted...
So I don't need this at all. And this can stop back there. G, which gives me a little bit of wiggle room again up here. So now I got to find the right take.
The bounty posters, according to the book, never identified Kyle except by his tattoo. And the book notes that Kyle didn't get that tattoo until after tour number 2. And it is
So, yeah, see, yeah. Take that, snap it back there, snap that forward.
But Kyle didn't get that tattoo until after tour number 2. And it also establishes that Kyle wanted to be in a crusade because he's a Christian. I guess that made him a bit of an extremist in his own
Number
way.
80.
So, definitely need to move this back. Can do. Lots of wiggle room in this bottom track between the numbers and any voice acting. That means I can move both of these at the same moment in time.
Kraus, yes, sir.
The bounty posters, according to the book, never identified Kyle except by his tattoo. And the book notes that Kyle didn't get that tattoo until after tour number 2. And it also establishes that Kyle wanted to be in a crusade because he's a Christian.
Cool. Now, I recognize some of my audience may indeed also be Christians, and I'm not trying to take the piss out of you by going after Kyle here. I think what I'm pointing out to you is that it is your, if that's your culture that we're talking about, Christianity or Christian, then this is something which is going after your culture, not necessarily representing it terribly well. Speaking as a person who doesn't share the culture anymore. True. Not in the same way.
Fear
The
God.
DA operation, I think, is right here. This could move forward is what I see. Let's say about there. So it fits in the same amount of space against this video information. Meaning it'll go to there and then cut, right? I think that's what's everything is. There's no more voice acting in that part, I don't think.
The DA squad to hunt. That's how to win hearts and minds.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna make this a bit bigger that way. I can see less of this image in order to get more work area. Great. And I don't know if we got anybody watching here tonight. My name is James PFP, by the way. Very, very merry 65 Tuesday to you and to yours. If you're joining me for the very first time, yes, indeed, I do use an alternative calendar. I'm going to stop for a second here. Go to Documents, go to Writings, go to Guff. No. Got the wrong one there. Documents, 37 days, 37 days. This is my Mark II illustration of the calendar. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one. A, that's the one I want. Much better. In case this is the first time you're joining me, this 65 Tuesday, right here, on the calendar system I use. This is not the end of the year for my calendar, but the end of the year is right here. It's on 72 Fives Day. We're still several weeks away from it. A week has 5 days, that's my calendar. I recently started playing with my calendar again, though, just for something to do. Got bored. And it occurred to me to use 37 days as a month. What would happen if I arranged the year into months of 37 days I could still have the same week pattern of five days per week. That doesn't matter. But what would happen if I organized the year by months of 37 instead? And I came to realize that, wow, certain things would pop out of the year. So this is full moons here marked by F in a circle. This is a new moon here, but it's also an eclipse that day. That was earlier this year. So there's an eclipse here, and then there's an eclipse in the very, same month within 14 or 15 days. This is the year we're going into. There's a full moon coming up, 66/5's day. I saw the new moon happen not that long ago, so it's only, a few days away. Another new moon. Oh, look. At the end of this year, right on the last day of the year, this is going to occur. It's a full moon, so it's and 15 days later, the opposite. And then later in the year, 1, 2, and 3. Whoa. A little rarer, this event. That's 2. Count them, 2 on a new moon. Count them, 2. So 1, 2, 3 in 1 year. Coming up in 2018. 37-day calendar. 37-day month. 5-day week. Classical months are still marked down here. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. The hump day of the year is here. August 1st, midway through my year, since it starts here and goes through, right? So that's the midway point. Your hump day is somewhere back here somewhere, if you're using the square calendar. But I also did this up when I did the calendar the last time. Mercutio date's a special note. Mercutio is the system. I throw these in from time to time, these little breaks, just to get my head around things. 65, we're in between winter solstice and perihelion. Practically the week between these two events. The 10 to 15 day period it generally takes to happen. Because 64 to 67 can be no more than 15 days plus, and then plus a few. So within 20 days, this break. It's between the 21st and 22nd event of this annual calendar system I keep. This is a way of converting between the two calendars to know what's what. This is the best way I could use mentally before I got into this whole 37-day thing. 37 days, though, is really cool. It is actually really cool. Especially, it's cool regardless of your sex or gender. Cool. Regardless. Anyone who has a problem and starts getting all identitarian about it, no, you'll find that this accommodates pretty much every contingency. For example, the Baha'i faith is well represented here because they can get their 19-day system in any 2 months. It's this plus 1 day, 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 the whole way through the year, and then that, the 19-day. I mean to say that plus 1 day divided by 2. Divide by 2. For the 19-day breaks. So this can accommodate the Baha'i faith as well. The Baha'i are really fond of some funny number systems, or some funny number truth. I'll show you another one. This is funny as heck. 363 divided by 19. So what's 19 times 19 again? Oh yeah, 361. +4. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I was doing work. I was really doing work. I'm wondering who's going to be watching in the morning too. They're like, yeah, wow, this is like a Christmas gift. I don't know about that. I'm not going to make any promises in that regard. It won't be finished, but you will have seen the entire process. And if that helps to educate you into doing similar things in your own time and place, then by all means, have at it, friend.
In his own way. Number 80. Let's put fear of God in these savages. The DA squad to hunt down the butcher is not in the book, and that's how to win hearts and minds in the audience. A soldier is like a child. He only says
I have to listen to everything again just to
words
find the
like
spots I
savage
fucked
if
up.
and when he overhears an officer adult saying them.
That looks like a good take simply because it fits in there and there doesn't seem to be any bleed over. So some of the time I'll be finding ones that are too long, and that's the issue. There's a little too much audio. That and that will coincide. And there's a screw up here. I wonder. Gee, bring that back. Here's the number. Here's a voice acting part.
Kyle knew PowerPoint.
Oh, I am so wrong. I just missed my own slide. There's a screw up. I wonder how far back I'm going to go when I do the correction.
Kyle knew PowerPoint.
Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, pretty neat. These two go together too. So I got a little bit extra time and space to work in here. Let me see. Bring that back. I want the sound of the keyboard.
Kyle knew PowerPoint.
Covers the difference between the cut.
Product placement. But the audience has...
I don't need to hear that for a second.
The audience has no more idea of where the hell the people in the sequence act.
That peepa.
Product placement.
I remember that now. Yeah, I've done way better work than that. But the peepa. Oh, I got to show you this. This probably caused a crash, but hell, what the hell? What the hell? I saw this last night and I almost died laughing. I honestly did. This was some genius, funny humor in the middle of a serious video. Right here. If you've never seen Logic before,
In fact,
that's the spot.
could you tone it the fuck down with the swearing, dude? Jesus fucking Christ, it's starting to even get on my nerves.
That's Logic.
Oh, and, you behave Antarctica.
I so want to get a clip of that. And here, we have Antarctica.
People in the audience. Oh, shit.
That's for the DNC, that one.
Product placement.
Product placement. Ah, maybe I will take that out.
Product placement.
Ah, yes. I like the other one better. So, all the way to there, he says? All the way to there? I can put it maybe to about there then.
Product placement. But the audience has no more idea of where the hell... Oh, shit.
And a third time?
Product placement.
Snap. Take a guess as to how much the gap.
Product placement. But the audience has no more idea of where the
Yes.
hell the people in this sequence actually are than the people in the sequence do. According to the book, Kyle didn't train to be a sniper until tour number 1 ended and was deployed to Baghdad, Sadr City, and Fallujah during tour number 2.
So there'll be a cut taking this back.
Stole.
And that won't be there either. So it will fit, but it takes a little bit of cutting and fitting. Oh, he says, huh? Right on. I took my time speaking it. I could see where I've allowed it to spread out a little.
Product placement. But the audience has no more idea of where the hell the people in this sequence actually are than the people in the sequence do. According to the book, Kyle didn't train to be a sniper until tour number 1 ended and was deployed to Baghdad, Sadr City, and Fallujah during tour.
And then I gotta make a cut right here. This disappears when I make this cut. So I need to zoom in a bit, really get an idea where that's to. I'm holding shift to fine tune my cutting tool. Oh, that was one frame too many. I want it to be free and clear. I'm going to grab that and push it back one more. Right there. This has got to go. This is going to be a hard cut, Shift K. It'll go all the way over to here. Holding Control and middle mouse button to resize the size of the particular dialogue I'm working with. This one down here, Shift K, or no, just K. Don't need any of this. Really, I could have got away with it not even cutting it. Just erase the strip.
Kyle knew PowerPoint. Product placement. But the audience has no more idea.
Funny thing is only mentioned. There's no screen time for PowerPoint, but the product is nonetheless mentioned and put into the minds of everybody who watches the movie.
Of where the hell the people in this sequence actually are than the people in the sequence do.
He might have admitted the PowerPoint in the book too, come to think of it.
According to the book, Kyle didn't train to be a sniper until tour number 1 ended and was deployed to Baghdad, Sadr City, and Fallujah during tour number 2.
Number 82. You gotta go. This scene is not in the book.
That worked out okay. Practically right in the spot it needs to be. I think I might have a double take there. Oh, H.
This scene is not in the book and is trying to establish Lee's morale as already being lower than low.
Number 80.
Lower than low. You might wonder why I put it in those terms. It might have to do with the whole crusade notion. I have to fully admit to it. This is the sort of admission that's easy to make. I am a fan of Joseph Heller. At least his literary work.
82.
Therefore, we can get into the atheists and foxholes discussion if you wish.
You gotta go.
This scene is not in the book and is trying to establish Lee's morale as already being lower than low.
Number 83. I won't believe
Have
what we're
we?
doing.
I know this.
There's Eva here. We've seen it. Have we?
Have we? Right there. I might have to do a double take on that one. The cut can occur right here. It goes to here. Melodramatic is the last word. There's a chance of catching the audio of a click on the mouse or on the keyboard. I'm looking for it. These look, they're going to roughly line up here. Look, dot, 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 dot. So those two are going to be where the next one occurs. There may be a corrective take somewhere in here. Shift K. G, bring it back. Let's see how this works on the take.
Have we? I know the script is mighty bad, but calling it evil without burning it or refusing it seems melodramatic.
Number 84.
I could use a little bit of space on this side. Oh shoot. That was close. If the cutting tool had been positioned over what was selected, I could have cut that in a bad spot. Luckily, I had nothing selected. I want this to move back this way a little more. I can get that and tighten it in. Now I can find where that tool would allow for a bit more space between these two sets of word. Could take out a slice of this too, perhaps.
Have we? I know the script is mighty bad, but calling it evil without burning it or refusing it seems melodramatic.
Number 84.
Yes.
The DA operation.
Ah, lovely. There is no voiceover in this one. It's a long ass rattled off piece. I could delete that altogether. Could actually just grab this ending, that bookend, look for the click. Say it's going to go about there, Shift S. And now bring that in a bit.
The DA operation, not in the book, at least not this circumstance, but is described as routine. Most of the scenes in this sequence are obvious trickery to get emotional reaction, like the same canned baby crying that we...
Oh, I made a mistake there. I made a mistake. Did I make a mistake? I made a big mistake. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. You know why? Right there. I remembered my place. Oh wow, and I'm only at 80 something. Gee whiz, I thought I was at 75. So right here, I'm gonna hide this so you can hear.
Baby. R equal. Canned baby. Number 85.
This needs to go closer to that. Yes, yes it does. And maybe I'll find another little sound effect to drop in between here. Maybe a whip. Whoopsh. Number 80. Which means this and this will be the end. Which means I can cut that right about there. Bring that back in. Correct this way. And snap that in that way. Which does everything. That should be the whole thing.
84.
The DA operation, not in the book, at least not this circumstance, but is described as routine. Most of the scenes in this sequence are obvious trickery to get emotional reaction, like the same canned baby crying that we heard in the hospital, because all canned babies are equal.
Canned baby.
The Simpsons stopped being funny, so that doesn't mean we should. That looks like a double take. This probably fits to that. That's a fuck beginning. posh. Yeah, I'm gonna hide that one first.
A series of shots with Kyle showing bared arms.
Yeah, right on. No voiceover. Or no voice acting in this part at all. So I can use this to my advantage. Alt H, whatever the...
A series of shots showing Kyle. Series of shots with Kyle showing bared arms but no Crusader tattoo.
Go back a frame or two, Shift S to snap to it. I'm going to do the same thing right there and see if I can't finesse this to fit inside of the restraint. So I can see clearly I've got a space between that word being finished and the next number being read out, so I can even make sure I've got a gap of silence there.
E5.
Series of shots with Kyle showing
Bam.
bared arms but no Crusader tattoo.
Why would you want to use something like Blender? People sometimes rag on Blender for no good reason, and this is the kind of thing it does really well. See, and you don't have to pay for it, and it works on anything. It'll work on your Windows, it'll work on your Mac, it'll work on your Linux machine, it will network render. If you've got more than one computer, you can render a whole bunch of frames at once. It's the same as having a really good multi-core processor. It's free. Dr. Evil. It can't be free. What do you mean? There's no such thing as free lunch. Well, it's not a lunch, man. It's just a tool.
Slip.
It's the blender. It doesn't give you lunch. It will help you make lunch.
That he's the legend. Doc dropping on purpose is bait for trolling.
Number 86.
Baby.
Biggles Doc drops Kyle.
Biggles
Gets rid of this one. Gets rid of this one. Gonna snap it at that one. I think that means I can do this. Looking for the right frame to make a cut point. Right. Assuming, right? Assuming more or less that was going to be true. That lines up pretty much. So I don't think that's a bad take. That's why I'm going to gamble in advance that that's the cut point. I can see them from the pause. That's the pause button being pressed. Shift K. I don't even need to listen to some of them to know if they're more or less going to be decent takes. So now it's a matter of looking for things in the bottom there that I might want to replace. Let's see about this.
Number 86.
Biggles Doc drops Kyle, which is movie rationale for wounding Biggles later.
Number 87.
Soldiers at Chow. Kyle spots the security hole, the host's elbow, not in the book.
Number 88. Kyle makes an excuse to excuse himself.
Huh. This will have to be moved in a bit, and it looks like it might be a borked. Might have done it twice. Maybe I did this one twice, I'm not sure. Can I remember, Captain? Oh, there is nobody watching tonight. Beware male feminists. Me too. Sargon of Akkad. I'll remember that. I'll remember that, Sargon. I'll remember that. Not getting a heck of a lot of action tonight. That's true. That's true. I think that means I could probably go for a cigarette now in a minute and not really miss anything. Or, you know, put anybody too far out.
Kyle makes an only but also good personal
hygiene joke. Which means I can go to there, unhide it, Shift K to cut it, G back to here, and now this sequence, I'm gonna soft cut with just a K command. Make this gap shorter, bring it in.
8. Kyle makes an excuse to excuse himself from a meal in progress. The secret of good comedy.
Now you can hear the audio drop out there altogether. How could I fix that? Because the audio record has just got this arbitrary cut point in it, I can replace with environmental silence.
Progress.
White noise. Like that.
The secret of good comedy is not only timing, but also good personal hygiene. Number 89. The floor has a hidden compartment. The floor.
I would imagine that was a click. Yeah. Shift, no, just a regular K. The floor has a hidden compartment with a Major League Arms cache is the one that follows this. Which means this can snap back to here. That looks like the next cut. Go forward a frame or two, Shift K to get the cut laid in. I know I want to snap back to at least there.
The floor has a hidden compartment that the soldiers didn't find immediately upon invading the house, under mats and rugs. Not in the book. Number 90.
Did I get through this the first time or the second, huh?
Close up on Major League Arms cache. Not in the book. The book does describe in detail every weapon that Kyle used in Iraq, as well as his brand name body armor and other assorted protective gear. Number 91.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I forgot that I did that so well that second time. Beautiful. If I do say so myself. Bam, bam, bam. Wicked. Snappity snap. Look at that.
Number 90. Close up on Major League Arms cache. Not in the book. The book does describe in detail every weapon that Kyle used in Iraq, as well as his brand name body armor and other assorted protective gear. Number 91. The
Bring
book
the
does
turf in.
use the
Bring the terp in.
slang for interpreter.
It's a
but
terp?
Kyle doesn't need it.
I've got lots of space to put this little piece into here. Here's the cut.
Tour
And
number
it won't
3
be
or tour
and
number
it won't-
Let me hide this.
and it won't be protected afterwards.
Right. So this is the very next cut. This is totally the next. I added in a little bit extra, which I didn't record twice. It's a terp down here, so I can have fun with that. Alt H to get back at it, and just a K here. This part I won't be wanting. Up to and around about here. Holding shift to get fine tuning control there. Same thing on this G, and then holding shift so I can fine tune it back that much. Could also save a little space that way, but I should be able to fit it in. This one goes to about here. That will fit in this gap easily. No problem at all, right?
It's a terp?
The book does use the slang for interpreter.
Oh, could I go back here a bit? No, I made a hard cut. I could go over this way a bit. So, let's snap to there and see how this plays.
It's a terp?
The book does use the slang for
better.
interpreter, but Kyle doesn't need a terp until tour 3 or 4.
Number 92. Package is moving. And it won't be protected afterwards. If the package picks up a weapon. Package is moving.
And it won't be protected after.
92. Package is moving.
And it won't be protected afterwards. If the package picks up a weapon, he's perfectly acceptable as a target. The ROEs
Number
say
93.
The ROEs say so. Shift K. G to move this back. I have to K this one. And G to get rid of some of the space between the two bits of audio. Shift to bring it back in. Is that enough? It will be. G and holding shift. So now I can tell that I got enough room between those two.
Package is moving.
And it won't be protected afterwards. If the package picks up a weapon, he's perfectly acceptable as a target. The ROEs say so.
Number 93. Execute. Package picks up a gun.
Yup. Wunderbar. Get rid of that all the way up to there. Cut this one. I could snap it right to there, right? Oh yeah.
Number 93.
Bang.
Execute.
Package picks up a gun and is shot.
Number 94.
A room with a hanging body.
A room with a hanging body.
Snap right to there. So I took my time when I read it out, knowing that I had a comfortable amount of space to do these takes in again. I have a basic idea of how long it took the first time. But I didn't pay a heck of a lot of attention to each take before I tried to take another one. It's more concerned in maintaining a fairly credible and, well, credible. It's not credible at all that I'm aiming for. I want to maintain a consistent
Number 94.
delivery.
A room with a hanging body and assorted body parts is in the book, but not during tour number 2.
Number 95.
Is in the book, where
Found
they
a
are
tunnel.
labeled rat
This
tunnels.
is in the book. This is in the book, where they are labeled rat tunnels. Rat is only marginally less offensive than
savages.
Yup. Excellent. X to delete. That is a straight up Blender joke. X will delete whatever it is you're working with. And then it'll ask you, do you really want to delete this? As if you were working with Windows. And like, yeah, actually I do want to delete it. It's getting on my nerves, see? I want you to get rid of it. You listen here, Oxlix. Well, you know, you're going to be cutting on a piece of the action, see? Do you need a Canadian delivery? Listen here, Oxlix. We want in on the deal.
Found a tunnel.
Is in the book, where they are labeled rat tunnels. Rat is only marginally less offensive than savages.
Number 96.
That was the one with a lot of lip in it. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
After a 90-second firefight, Kyle runs down the street where he gets the butcher. Not in the book. Neither was the butcher. Number 97.
Beauty. I can move this over a bit. And none of this needs to exist. I mean, it will exist, but I don't need to have that track active. Giving me a lovely, lovely point to cut on. And allowing me to get it in there.
After a 90-second...
Number 96. Number 96.
After a 90-second firefight, Kyle runs down to the street where he gets the butcher. Not in the book. And neither was the butcher.
Number 97. Mustafa's cell phone spot a net.
I can see why this was so hard. You spit out the first time. Look, there was a cut here too. I fucked this up. Guaranteed. Here's the next cut afterward. That's where the pause point occurred. So yeah, I fucked it up and kept going. So let's snap to there where there's a silence break, and I'll hide that for now and see what...
Mustafa's cell phone spot a network.
I'm going to guess I can cut that there. None of this is needed. I'll delete it. I'll snap that to there. I'll unhide it now. I'll listen.
Mustafa's cell phone spotter network. In the book, Kyle claims or admits that the insurgent cell phone network had been compromised by the electronic intelligence
Number 98.
apparatus.
Oh, I've got a lot of pausing in my delivery here. So that's silence to there. Can I get rid of it in here?
Mustafa's cell phone spotter network. In the book.
Question.
Spotter network. In the book, Kyle claims or admits that the insurgent cell phone network had been compromised by the electronic intelligence apparatus.
Number 98.
Whoa, right? Real close. Grab. I'm going to move it over a frame or two. I'm going to get it as much as... That's not much of a time gain. I'm going to add it in this way. And I'm going to count on the fact that I'm going to be cutting out some of this delivery.
98. Armed crowd and seal.
None of this is going to be required, right? All the way over to here, there's no voice acting. So, say I cut it there, huh? And say I know I'm not going to want the number to be read out until about there. Well, I want it at least to there. But now I can move this in a bit. And if I was to snap on the end of this track and then snap that over, at least it's going to be lining up cut to cut right now. I could grab it and even move it over a bit further. Before bringing that back. That one now ready for a shift K. You can zoom in here, make sure that I'm going to get the silence at the end before I snap that in. Again, not quite the right length. But there's wiggle room. So I want to break a slight audio break between
After a 90-second then savages.
Number 96.
After a 90-second firefight, Kyle runs down to the street where he gets the butcher. Not in the book. And neither was the butcher.
Number 97.
Mustafa's cell phone spotter network. In the book, Kyle claims or admits that the insurgent cell phone network had been compromised by the electronic intelligence apparatus.
Number 98.
There was a cut there.
Armed crowd and SEALs pulling out. The Punisher logo is prominently displayed on the Humvee's gun mount. Out of order according to the book. Also, product placement, since Kyle reused the Punisher logo on his own merchandise.
Number 99. Homecoming number 2.
So I'll be wanting to line those two up. Practically the same. There looks like there might be a mess up in this one. I'm going to snap that all out of the way.
Homecoming number 2. Kid number 1 is now 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, that's
only
all
after one tour overseas, 250 days. Same kid uses 4-syllable words.
Number 100.
Precociously. Lots of pause in this. Lots of pause. And put that to there. Snap it back. It still needs to have time removed from about there. Yep.
Number 99.
Homecoming number 2. Kid number 1.
Oh. Totally cut out a word there.
Coming number 2. Kid number 1 is now 3 or...
One, two. I'm moving it a few frames over just to see if I can't get away with this.
4 years. Homecoming number 2. Kid number 1 is now 3 or 4 years old and only after one tour overseas, 250 days. Same kid uses 4-syllable words precociously.
Number 100.
Yep. This looks like it will line up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Shift K at that point. Shift S to snap it back. On that one, now I right click it to make sure it's selected, and Shift K, the same thing. Shift S to snap it back.
4-syllable words precociously.
Number 100.
That can move forward. That fits totally within the size of that video segment. So I'm going to probably look at lining it up on the green line this way. Putting a cut there to a roundabout there. This will be one of the harder cuts, but here, hey, this is why I want to do it. I can now make up the silence overlap that way.
Precociously.
Number 100.
The wounded vet guilt trips Kyle into visiting the vet hospital in San Diego, 'cause it's not like Kyle should have had at least some counseling.
101. They...
That and that. I am totally ready to take a break. At 100, started at 75, recorded everything first. Only going to 125 tonight anyway. But we are clipping along. So if I were to hit home key, we'd get the whole project right now in the window. You can see that I'm gradually cutting it up till these two sets of audio could be folded down into one another. One way to do that is to let Blender render it, and it will just marry the audio samples for sample, time code to time code. Yeah.
He made it back, but they're just not back. You know? No.
No. No. I get it. Alt H. Here's the Shift K point. Here's the end of the take. This will all be moved over to here. That clip lines up over there. I can make the cut from that point all the way into there, even to here.
They made it back, but they're just not back. You know?
No.
102. Hey, buddy. Generic patronizing rhetorical device is patronizing. And the next line of script is definitely not needed. Can I talk to you?
See? This works out okay. See? Yeah, I do. That's a K cut. I would think that that's going to go back all the way to there. This is going to move to here. In fact, I could bring it back even further. Allowing for space between this cut and that cut. So I'll put the cut here, Shift K. Yeah, that's the spot, Shift S there. Wow.
Buddy.
Generic patronizing rhetorical device is patronizing, and the next line of script is definitely not needed.
Can I talk to you? 103. Kyle refuses to salute a vet.
Sheesh. Put that to there. Kyle refuses to salute another vet, and it's a wonder. Kyle refuses to salute a vet, and it's a wonder another vet shot him, right? That's a K there, and if I could, I would put it all the way to there. I wonder, would this work? Snap that way. Yes, this probably will.
Kyle refuses to salute a vet, and it's a wonder another vet shot him, right?
104.
All right.
Grab your lizard there. What?
Not only is the
right.
Oh, right.
Not only is
Oh, right. The toy. Grab your lizard there. Available at any fine gas station or oil change facility. Your lizard I imagine I'm going to shift, or no, I just K cut that one, but here it snaps back.
All right, the toy.
105.
Not only is the
Your
kid
sister.
224 times
Not
2
only.
I messed this up. I remember messing this one up. This is a bunch of takes.
times 2 old, but Kyle has now a new missed it. Not only is the kid 224. Not only is the kid 224 times 2 old, but Kyle now has a newborn daughter.
So the snap goes to there. This wants to come up to about here somewhere. In fact, I can now, ooh.
Your sister. Not only is the kid 2 or 4 times too old,
but Kyle now has a newborn daughter.
Aha! The beauty of a decent take. It manages to fit in exactly the same space, even with that long-ass gap in the original. Imagine that.
5. Your sister.
Not only is the kid 224 times 2 old, but Kyle now has a newborn daughter.
106.
Rah. I think it's going to be going to about there for this one this time. If I hide this for a second.
The only shots of actual newborns in the film. In a hospital creche with 2 nurses and behind reinforced bulletproof glass, no less.
Alt H to unhide it. Gonna Shift Z that. It's gonna run to reload all of those waveforms. Takes a while for that to happen. One of Blender's charming features, Shift K, being what I've been doing to keep this part straight. Shift S there. Huh. Did I mess this one up or not?
The only shots of actual The only shots of actual newborns in the film. In a hospital creche with 2 nurses and behind
100.
It fits. Shift K here. Ooh. Shift S there. Lots of space before the number picks up, so this should work.
106.
The only shots of actual newborns in the film. In a hospital creche with 2 nurses and behind reinforced bulletproof glass, no less.
107.
Breastfeeding doll.
Breastfeeding doll with arms and fingers that really move.
If the
wow. Shift the car. And there we go. And now this one's going to move over at least that much. This has all the room in the world to exist. I can cut that one. Arbitrarily pick a silence point. Snap that to it. I might even be able to get away with it this way, look.
7.
breastfeeding doll with fingers and arms that really move.
It's like the audio doesn't even cut.
108.
If the previous shot wasn't a doll, it definitely is now.
Almost stereo. This is great. This is excellent. Just what I wanted. The timing of the takes becomes better and better. The timing of take. The take of timing. So yeah, this one might be better if I shoved it one way or the other.
If the previous shot wasn't a doll, it definitely is now.
109.
You can only circle the flame so long.
Not in the book.
Not in the book.
110.
Shift K, bringing it into the cut point there. Looks to me like I want this. Oh, that's not in the book right there, yeah? Yeah. See? I see it, I see it. Watch him now, watch him now. Will this have started? Yeah, I will have started saying it by then. Maybe not.
You can only circle the flame so long.
Not in the book.
110.
Tour number 3.
Tour number.
That all has to fit there. I also know I've got until about that point to get away with the audio cut. And I could start it even up that earlier, that much earlier. Or as much, I could even start it earlier than that, right? Like maybe there. Get rid of this piece, maybe a little bit there.
Tour number 3, not geo-identified. Biggles and Lee are killed within 24 hours of one another. Book says it was in Ramadi, and indeed, that is where Job and Lee were wounded and
111.
Killed.
That's going this way. I like the gap. I like the timing. The only other thing to do is to shove it over this way a tiny bit. And on that one, Shift K. Oh. Hide that for a second.
111. Mustafa has peepers because he's Kaiser fucking Soze, bro.
I remember doing this
Yet
twice.
more reality being compared.
Or not twice, but I know I did the Kaiser Soze bit in character. So let me take a chance on this. If I now snap that forward, and I now snap that to there, Alt H.
Indeed, that is where Job and Lee were wounded and killed.
111.
Mustafa has peepers because he's Kaiser fucking Soze, bro. Yet more reality being compared to much better, more popular movies. Just like the book, using movies to describe reality, I mean. And it
112.
And it is overdubbed. Shift K. Snap that back. Gonna just K that one. Bring it back in. Okay, that one.
$111.
Mustafa has peepers because he's
Peepers.
Kaiser fucking Soze, bro. Yet more reality being compared to much better, more popular movies. Just like the book. Using movies to describe reality, I mean. And it is overdubbed.
112.
And it is overdubbed. Oh man, I can't wait for this to be done. It's fun.
Mustafa has a child and a picture of his
Mustafa.
Olympic.
Yeah, that needs to be back earlier. That fits. Shift K. I want this somewhere around about there, I think. And then this one on the inside of that cut. So as to hide this cut. And it will too. Wonderful. Snap there, look.
112.
Mustafa has a child and a picture of his Olympic medal ceremony on the wall. Wanna bet Mustafa's child won't grow up as fast as Kyle's son did?
113. Team gets ambushed prior to being ambushed because excitement.
Excitement.
That cuts that out of there. This one looks like it's right in the position already. It's incredible. Lovely. Team gets ambushed
prior to being ambushed because excitement.
114.
Punisher
logo on body armor. Product placement.
So yeah, if you didn't catch the early part of the stream, I started off with a philosophical reflection, which I picked up on the quick and easy by paying attention to what I think were some of the sources for Star Wars. And if you didn't see it, I'm going to write it out here. Oh, not number 57, sorry. My bad. That's important. It happens to be an important part of the Tao Te Ching. If you ask me.
114.
Punisher logo on body armor. Product placement.
115.
Biggles did get it by
Biggles.
Going to take a chance on this one too. I know that this is all going to be wiped out. So
15.
Biggles did get it by a ricochet off of his own gun. It's in the book. But Mustafa didn't fire the shot.
106. $116. Biggles had the ring? Sauron, you evil fucker. Not in the book.
Not in the book.
Sorry. Not funny. Not funny, but funny. Funny in it's just strange to think they needed a story like that kind of way. So they wrote it into the fictionalized Hollywood script to make it sound, you know, half convincingly real. I don't know what to describe it, say other than that. What's this say?
Not
Only
in
one
the
sniper
book.
could have made that shot.
But at least he didn't say
Not in the
send
book.
people.
Ah, right. Not in the book. And I need this to be finished before this occurs. There's the next cut. Snap. Lots of space for this. I left a bit of extra room in. And maybe that'll work if it interrupts. Maybe that'll work if it interrupts. Yeah, I think it will. Yeah, okay, let's give this a shot. Okay. This is going to snap to at least there. This can snap to about there. Let's try it.
Only one sniper could have made that shot.
Not in the book. But at least he didn't say sand people, Imperial Stormtroopers, or Darth Vader. I.e. I for
118.
Lee is the
Lex Talionis. I.e. an eye for an eye. And Lee is the next to die. So let's have him say something Latin to make it poignant.
To make it poignant.
100
positioned on the fly. I love it. There's a spot or two where I can tighten this up, I think. Okay. This can get rid of all of that. There would be the cut. Here would be the end of the take.
Lex Talionis.
I.e. eye for an eye. Lee is the next to die. So let's have him say something Latin to make it poignant.
Latin. And here we go with a cut there. I'm going to get my space back right now.
Jonas.
I.e. eye for an eye. Lee is the next to die. So let's have him say something Latin to make it poignant.
119. We're going back out.
Not exactly.
Not exactly in.
That might work.
Not exactly
in the book. Especially since he's not a chief
at this point.
100 and.
Yes. If I do say so, I think that'll work. Shift K for that one. Shift S for that one. That goes to there, that goes to there, that goes to here. There's voice acting in the front of it. 2 clusters. On the way to the ambush, the team gets ambushed on the way to the ambush. Huh. This is 120, right? Ooh. I'm like, I should stop. No, don't stop. Look, geez, don't stop, don't stop. Jim, you're almost to this point right up here. This is great. 125 is well over halfway. So yeah, no stopping. On the way to the ambush, the team get ambushed. So that's what this says, right?
On the way to the ambush, they get ambushed. In case you are gone out for popcorn or a piss the first time,
I said
or perhaps crack. You can now enjoy the same getting ambushed on the way to the ambushed action that you missed the first time.
Okay. Hear the keyboard press there? I definitely want that. And I'm going to snap it to, I'm going to get as much silence on either end as I can possibly get of the original track so I can overlap it here if I got to, but I'm not expecting to have to overlap a heck of a lot here.
On the way to the ambush, they get ambushed. In case you are gone out for popcorn, i.e. crack, the first time. Boom, headshot.
Boom, headshot. Aha, that's the best. Boom, headshot. Oh, I'm sure Unreal Tournament did it okay. But I'm also pretty sure I can do it okay also. So let's get this one. I can like line these up by looking at them. Let's Shift K that and take a chance that I didn't mess up the take. That looks pretty good for there. That looks pretty good for there. That looks pretty good for there. Right? Home ways is right ways. Name the movie. Home ways is right ways.
On the way to the ambush, they get ambushed. In case you are gone out for popcorn, i.e. crack, the first time.
121. Boom.
Boom.
Headshot.
Headshot.
I might want to put two of those at the same time. Mixing them together would also probably work. Which would mean that way.
121. Boom. Headshot.
Well, I can always get it back later. And I can also do this.
Boom. Headshot.
122. A tension sequence with a jump scare ending.
A tension sequence with a jump scare ending.
123. Mark Lee gets his, and this is pretty much in the book.
Snap.
3.
Mark Lee gets his, and this is pretty much in the book. In my opinion, if a studio puts an actual death sequence on film of an actual person who lived and died in this way, then they should also put an in memory of on the fucking film somewhere. Are Mark Lee's family getting royalties?
124. Kyle did return to attend a double funeral.
Snap. That has to be the cut there. I see no evidence of the cut in prior to it, so I'm going to guess that there's two groups plus, oh no, all three of them belong there. And then the end of this side must come in this way. Yes. I'm curious.
Kyle did return to attend a double funeral. but the book relates that another seal had died before Biggles or Lee. And anyway, Biggles was still alive at this point, aka Job.
Yeah, so I allowed more time than I needed there. Which explains why there's a bit of a mismatch in size between those two clips. And then this one, Mark Lee's Thanks Clint.
Five.
Lee's mother reading a letter purportedly sent by Lee. Rather than actually read it through, she chokes up. Thanks, Clint.
126.
Oh, man. So, here I am. This is my first initial take. Here's my first reshoots. Here's my second sets of reshoots. Doing more voice work. I still have to do this much again. Am I going to do it this episode or am I going to do it next episode? I think next episode is probably the best idea. I've been on Santa watch all night tonight. I can't say as I saw anything. However, don't lose hope. Don't lose heart. Don't lose your spirit. Next time we return to this lovely little pastime of mine. It's not just a pastime. Once we return to this experience, this podcast, it's Banjocast. Bring your pitchfork, bring a flaming torch. You'll find me here. My name's James PFP. Got any comments about it? Leave it below. Got any alternative theories to anything I've advanced so far? Please leave it in a comment. And I will talk to you all very, very soon.